So you're thinking about getting that AWS certification, the SAA-C03. You see the price tag, $150, and you think, okay, manageable. But what if I told you that $150 is more like a cover charge and the real price of entry is hidden in the fine print of where you live and how well you prepare?
It's a classic sticker price illusion. That $150 is the starting line, not the finish line. We see it all the time. Your final invoice is really determined by your geography and your preparation.
Right? So most people see that 150 price and think they're set. But depending on where you are, you've got an 18% GST in India, sales tax in different US states, and the big one, there are no free retakes. That official price suddenly feels like just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. And that failure tax is the real killer. It's a tough lesson to learn. If you don't pass on day one, you're looking at a $300 bill immediately. That's a pretty high stakes entry fee for a certification that's basically become the nervous system of the 2026 global economy.
That makes sense. So the financial risk is real, but if you do put up the cash and pass, what does that investment actually buy you in today's job market? Let's look at the ROI.
Well, the payoff is huge, and the reason why has shifted.
Okay, I'm listening. The 2026 data shows a massive payoff for this cert, with US salaries averaging over $153,000. But the interesting part seems to be the why. Companies are now desperate for architects who can solve what they call the cloud spend crisis by using advanced AWS features to cut down on these massive operational bills.
Here's the aha moment for a lot of people. The SAA C03 isn't a vocabulary test anymore. It's an architectural simulation. 20% of the exam is now purely about cost optimization. The exam itself is designed to find people who can make trade-offs between resilience, performance, and cost.
So you're saying the exam itself is designed to produce people who can basically pay for their own salaries through the savings they find?
Precisely. In 2026, companies aren't just hiring you to spend their money on the cloud, they're hiring you to prove you can save it. If you can properly implement something like S3 lifecycle policies or use spot instances effectively, you've likely saved the company more than your annual bonus in a single afternoon.
It's a career-changing move, for sure. But the exam covers over 100 services. That sounds daunting. How do you actually tackle that mountain of information without burning out or, well, failing and paying that double fee?
You have to follow a roadmap, you can't just wing it.
To avoid that $150 retake fee, the experts seem to recommend a strict three-step plan. 3 weeks of theory, 2 weeks of hands-on building in the AWS free tier, and then a final 2 weeks of high-intensity practice exams.
And that last part is where people get overconfident and stumble. You shouldn't even look at the official booking site until you're consistently hitting 85% or 90% on mock exams from a solid platform like Spoto. It's about building the mental stamina to read long, complex scenarios for 2 hours straight. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It sounds like a marathon, but the finish line leads to one of the most stable and lucrative roles in tech today. So, wrapping this up, if someone's listening right now and is about to start this journey, what are the absolute must-knows to take away?
4 things. First, your real budget for the exam is closer to $180, not $150 because of taxes. And remember, failing once doubles that cost to $300. Second, the reason you get paid the big bucks, like $153K in the US, is because you can optimize cloud costs. Third, focus your study on secure and resilient architectures. That's over half the exam right there. And finally, the most important rule, don't book the exam when you think you're ready. Book it when the data from your practice test proves you can't fail. Hit 90% on 3 consecutive mock exams and you're truly ready.